It shows the solution of the inequality minus 7 is smaller than or equal to 5 minus 3x. X element n means what? So it has to be 1, 2, 3 and above, yeah? Any of those numbers. Write down the values A, B, C and D, where A is the smallest and D is D. Do you get why that is? A is smaller than B, B is smaller than C, C is smaller than D. So A is the smallest, D is the biggest. Right, great. So it's basically just do the question, isn't it? That's what we did earlier. I'm not going to do the spin. Can anybody tell me why I won't do the spin this time? I'll still have a negative 3x, won't I? The x will still be negative, won't it? So if I just move it over to your side, it'll turn into a positive x, so it's quicker. I'll do it two ways, right? How about that? If I did the spin first, everybody happy with the spin? I then bring the 5 over to your sides. What's a minus 7 plus 5, isn't it? Oh, sorry, minus 7 minus 5. And that's minus 12, and that's 3x. So multiply both sides by minus 1. That actually makes it go the opposite way, doesn't it? And then x is smaller than or equal to 4. How many lines did that take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm thinking a bit lazier here. I'll bring the 3x to the left. I bring the 7 to the right. 7 plus 5? 12. And then I get x less than or equal to 4. It's a bit quicker not doing the spin this time. Depends, okay? Now, that's very easy then. What's the answer then? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this must mean A is 1, B is 2, C is 3 and D is 4. That's pretty easy in the end, wasn't it? Right, what about that thing for part 2? Yeah, just sub everything in and use the old calculator. My calculator is still tiny for some reason. I haven't been able to figure out why. I'll figure that out later on today at lunchtime. But either way, what you do is you put in your square root, what's A? Divided by 0.2 plus C by D. And then take away 1. 1 divided by 0.2 is actually 5. 5 plus 12 take away 1 is the square root of 16. The square root of 16 is 4. Everybody alright with that? Yes? Do you have to do a number line for that? No, doesn't say it. Doesn't say do a number line. Doesn't say graph it. Let's move on. 31. Find the solution of the first one. Okay, 4 minus x less than or equal to 6. No bother. That's quite easy on its own, isn't it? So what do you think it is? It's minus x less than or equal to, multiply both sides by x greater than or equal to. Okay. Anything particularly taxing about that? No, you did harder already. Okay, next one. Yep. Here, I multiply by minus 1. Yeah, when you multiply by minus 1, it has to change direction. Okay. What about here, guys? And no, it's not a blockout one. It's just move the x's to one side. So 3x take away x less than or equal to 9 plus 1. 2x less than or equal to 10. X less than or equal to 5. Now, see this symbol here? What does that mean? Intersection. It means fuse your two answers together. The answer for m is part 1 and the answer for n is part 2. It means fuse this answer with this answer. And do we have to draw it down or just write the values? It just says write down the values. It doesn't say draw a number line, does it? No. So it starts at minus 2. Do we include minus 2? Oh. We will have to draw a number line. Can anybody tell me why? It's element R. If that was element Z, I could make a quick list, couldn't I? Element R is impossible to list, isn't it? Imagine that, like minus 2, minus 1.99, minus 1.98, I've actually left out minus 1.999. You can't draw them all, can you? Or sorry, you can't list them all. So in that case, I'm stuck doing a graph. So I'm going to do a graph after all, as it turns out. It should say graph. Oh wait, I'm wrong. Sorry guys, I read the question wrong. It doesn't actually want you to graph or write down the answers. It just wants you to write down the value of A and the value of B. Does anybody remember what I did yesterday? Remember I spun this around. What happens if I spin this around? Minus 2 less than or equal to. And then what can I do here? Look, look, look. And then you sort of do the little, it's like I call it the overlap trick, where you grab the x's and you sort of fuse them together. And then that's your answer. Minus 2 is smaller than x is smaller than 5. This means the value of A is 2 and the value of B is... Sorry, you weren't actually asked to write down the list and you weren't asked to graph it. My bad. Move on. Okay, all good. Now, for a triangle to exist, what has to happen for a triangle to exist? So imagine a red line, a blue line, has to have 3 sides, yet no bother. What else has to exist? Okay, look at this. These are 3 sides, aren't they? Does the triangle exist? Well, you're reading my tone of voice rather than give me an explanation why it doesn't exist. Okay, here we go. Triangle, let's do this. Is that a triangle? Has 3 sides though. Has to be a closed shape. A better way of saying that is that the 2 smaller sides have to add up to a size bigger than the larger side. So look at this. If I put these lower, if I put these down the bottom here, okay, like so, the blue and the blue, when you lie the blue and the green line flat together, they have to, both of them combined, have to be larger than the red line. You got it? This is what's known as the triangle inequality. Add any 2 sides together and they must be longer than the third side. So as an example, if that was 15, this is 8, what value must the blue line be? Has to be bigger than 7. Would you agree with that? So let's say an example of 9. This is known as the triangle inequality. Any 2 sides added together must be bigger than the third side. Everybody cool with that? In no particular order, write down your 3 sides together. Actually, wait a second. Essentially what I'm telling you is this. I'm telling you 9 plus 8 is bigger than 15. Would you agree with that? I'm also telling you 15 plus 9 is bigger than 8. I'm also telling you 15 plus 8 is bigger than... Doesn't matter which 2 sides you pick. The 2 sides added together must be bigger than the third side. Preferably the 2 smaller sides are bigger than the biggest side. I think that's the best way of doing it. Because technically, do you remember we couldn't make it, lads? Lads, remember we couldn't make it? Because look, if that was 6, I bring this back down to 6. We know that's not a triangle, don't we? And look, 15 plus 6 is still bigger than 8. That doesn't prove anything, does it? So what do you have to do? You have to pick the 2 smallest sides and say they're bigger than the biggest side. Now, here's a hard question for you. Using these sides here, x, 2x minus 3, and 2x minus 1. Which ones are the largest? How do we know which one the largest side is? Yes? All 3 sides are the same, equal to each other. Oh, well, they're all the same, so you can just pick any 2. It'd be like 6 plus 6 is bigger than 6. Yes? Oh, let's test it out. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do a little table for ourselves, okay? Look at this, just to explain what's going on. Alright, still 10 minutes, thank God. Alright, so I'm making myself a little table. And what am I going to put in that table, can you tell me? What am I going to put in the table? I'm going to put in all 3 sides, okay? The first side is x, the next side is, and the third side is. Now, x can't be 0. Can you tell me why? Oh yeah, x can't be 0. Can you tell me why x can't be 0? 2 times 0 minus 3 is minus 3. It means one of the length is minus 3 and the other length is minus 1. It's impossible, isn't it? Why is it impossible? They have to be bigger than. Yeah. And then 1?
No.
Why not?
2 by 1 is 2.
Yeah, and then the other one is?
2.
Yeah, it's just 1. Okay, what about 2? 2 times 2? 4, take away 3. One of the sides will be 1 and the other side will be 3. The two smaller sides added together equal the big side. So that's good. Anything bigger than 2, isn't it? So what can we say next? If that's 3, what can we say then? 2 times 3? Take away 3. 3. 2 times 3? Take away 1. What can we say there? 3 plus 3 is bigger than 5. The two smaller sides are bigger than the larger side. So, I think it's safe to say that the biggest side is always 2x minus 1 is the largest side. Would you agree with that? The 2x minus 1 is the largest side. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to write down this. The first thing for the triangle to exist, the first thing is the smallest side has to be bigger than 0. Would you agree with that? Alright. And then we said 2x is greater than 3x is bigger than 1.5. Why does 1.5 not work? Can anybody tell me? 1.5 doesn't work. Yes, sir. Huh? 3. 3 take away 3. 0. And then that'll be 2. You still can't have a 0 length, can you? That's not allowed. Would 1.6 work? Let's look at it. 2 times 1.6. 3.2 take away 3. 0.2. 2 times 1.6. Take away 1. What? 2.2. Okay. This one doesn't work because the two smaller sides added together are not bigger than the biggest sides. We actually found that out earlier, didn't we? It's x equals 2 is when the two smaller sides equal the bigger side. So let's check that out. What did we say are the two smaller sides again? X and they have to be bigger than 2x minus 1. The two smaller sides added together have to be bigger than the biggest side. So check this out. 3x minus 3 greater than 2x minus 1. 3x take away is bigger than 3 take away 1. X has to be bigger than 2. We knew that, didn't we? How do we know x has to be bigger than 2 again? Basically, yeah, it means the two smaller sides will be bigger than the third side. Any value bigger than 2 will result in that. What happens if I try 2.1? Should 2.1 work? Give me a look. Let's see if 2.1 works. 2.1. 2 times 2.1? 4.2 take away 3? 1.2. 2 times 2.1? 4.2 take away 1? 2. Is the two smaller sides bigger than the third sides? There you go, it works. Do you have to do all that mumbo jumbo I did over here? What do you have to do? Figure out what the two smaller sides are, add them together, and say that they have to be bigger than the big side. Does that make sense? Awesome.